one. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Today we have a special guest. We have Donna Papagellin with us, and she is an expert. Tremendous expert in the body and movement. And my co-host, Barbara, and I are so excited to have her on. And so, Barbara, did you want to say anything before we turn the floor over and let her have her way with us?
Absolutely. And one of the things that, like Carol and I and Donna and I, we've all known each other, but we only actually met each other a couple of months ago. And yet we've known each other for so long. And sometimes you just click. And this little threesome you see here, we just clicked. So I am so excited to have Donna on the show.
And there's no telling where we're going to bunny trail to, because we are.
You don't know what rabbit hole it's going to go down. Okay, I'm going to tell on us. Okay. We were in Las Vegas airport, weren't we? The three of us were in Las Vegas airport, and we all went out at different times. So we all took each other to all of the flights because we all had time, Well, we had such a blast. People going through the airport must have thought we were crazy.
Well, in fact, the picture that we have of Mavens is in that airport. The two of us.
Yeah, we had such a good time and just to have like-minded people that you can connect with, that you can have fun with, that you can do business with. That is amazing. And so that's what this kind of, so that's kind of my thought for the day. Find the people who you have something in common with and do something with them. And it doesn't matter whether it's in person or online. Like we see each other a lot online.
And we resonate with each other and we do business together, but we also build each other's faith. And that's one thing that is very precious to each of us. And so, that we are people of faith on this channel. And so we don't pull any punches about that Jesus is our end all be all. So Donna has a resume out
the first time I heard it, I went, really?
She's our friend.
She's our friend, and we know her.
Yeah. So she knows the body inside and out. And I'm going to let her tell you all the things because I might miss something. And the thing that I remember is that she was a trainer for Rice University. Well, I live in Texas. My grandparents were from Houston, so I'm very well acquainted with Rice and all about it and such as that. So
and I'm going to tell for a second. The other day I was telling somebody about you, that we were going to have you, and I said, yeah, she was for one of the universities, and I said, and it was like, oh yeah, with Rice University, and it was like, well, isn't that where President Kennedy did his moon speech? Yeah, that's where that was at Rice University.
Yes, but just a disclaimer, I was not there then. I was a toddler.
So it's not like Rice University is
a little community college,
inconsequential university. So I just love the way that conversation went. Well, wasn't that where President Kennedy did his moon speech? Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and give you some background. My previous career, I was an athletic trainer, and an athletic trainer is someone who takes care of athletic injuries. We work on prevention through conditioning, and then we work on actually caring for the injury when it happens, and then helping with the rehabilitation to get the person back to activity. So when I was a youngster, I was an athlete. In my family, we all played sports growing up. I was a 4-sport athlete in high school. I was a 2-sport athlete at the junior college level. And then I suffered my own injuries that sidelined me. But because of that, I learned what athletic trainers were and what they did and thought, oh, this is a good career for me. So I went to university. I went to college at Cal State Long Beach in California, where I had grown up in the northern part of the state, and got certified as an athletic trainer. And a few years after working out in the real world, an opportunity presented itself for me to work in minor league baseball. And I don't know how many of you know much about professional baseball, but it's like one of the last bastions of masculinity and a man's world type of thing. And this was 30 years ago. Okay. So I was working at a clinic and I was overseeing all of our athletic trainers at the high school. And this minor league team came to us and said, we suddenly find ourselves without an athletic trainer. Can you put together a list of qualified candidates for us to interview? So I put my name at the top of the list, and I did add a few more, and I was hired. And the team unfortunately went bankrupt at the end of the season. So I sent out resumes to every major league organization, because they're the ones that control the minor league sports and the minor league teams. And I put my resumes out there, and I didn't get a single response. I had 1 year of experience under my belt, and I didn't even get a reply. So the next year I made a change to that resume. And instead of Donna L, and I had a different last name at the time, it became DL. Same exact resume. Now, had anyone bothered to read through the whole resume? Very few men letter in women's softball in college. So anyway.
Back then, 30 years ago.
Yes. Yes.
Today.
So I got back all of these rejection letters, or not, I shouldn't say rejection, because they were like, we don't have anything at this time. We'll keep your resume on file. But at least I got a response. Mm-hmm. So the following spring, because I sent the letters out at the end of the baseball season in the fall, late winter, early spring, I get a phone call. And this is back in the day before cell phones. And so I got home from work on a Friday evening, and there was a message on my answering machine. So that there we go, dating ourselves. And this team was looking for an athletic trainer. They had my resume. They wanted to talk to me. Could I call them back? Well, different time zones. I couldn't call them till Monday. Monday morning, I called, and it was a woman who had left me the message, and that's who answered the phone when I called. And boy, was she upset that D was for Donna and not Donald. But anyway, another team called me the following week. I got hired and became one of the first female athletic trainers in professional baseball. And so 13 years in that career, and then transitioned, did a few other things in between before transitioning to Rice, and became the athletic trainer specifically for the baseball team, and helped them with their injuries and trying to stay healthy. So that, and during the course of my career in professional baseball, I was tasked with with getting my certification also as a strength and conditioning specialist. And so I did that as well. So I was certified and licensed as an athletic trainer, and then I was also certified as a strength and conditioning specialist for many years. So so that's my background.
Well, and something you said the other day that really piqued my interest in just so y'all know, we're here in Texas. Barbara's not, but Donna and I are both in Texas, and we take our sports rather seriously. I mean, I don't know that there's too many states that are as serious about it as we are. But she also at one point was working in a doctor's office as a physiologist. Is that?
So the doctor was a physiatrist.
That's
This was
right.
actually
That's the
in
word.
my days before Rice. And a physiatrist is a physician that specializes in physical medicine. So they use movement and motion, and it's all about getting the body moving the way it should. And he was also a neurologist as well. So he had a physical therapy clinic, and I was hired to work in his clinic with his patients. So that was an experience that I took because they worked with so many neck and back patients.
Mhm.
And I felt like that was my weakness at the time. And I wanted to get better at it. And the opportunity to work in his clinic gave me the opportunity to build my skill set. And so I was able to take advantage of that opportunity. And it served me well when I eventually got the job at Rice, because when my athletes would, do something and get a crick in their back or whatever, and we've got a game coming up, what can I do? Oh, well, let me release that, So.
And that's one of the things that that Carol and I have talked about too, is that when you're doing something, do things to increase your skill set.
Mhm.
Because when you can increase your skill set, it impacts the people around you.
Yes.
And so, yeah. So we're excited. So Carol, you get to tell what we're excited about.
I do? Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
those of y'all that have followed Mavens of Motivation realize that Barbara works with personalities and the different personalities and how they work together, how they fit together, and such as that. And Donna is bringing to the table the physical, the body, the how it works, how to get your body to work better. How many of y'all have noticed that your body doesn't work quite like it did 20 years ago? Me, choose me. So it stood to reason for us to come together. And we wanted to put together a workshop for everyone to be the best they can be, spirit, soul, and body. And so, we've talked about that often on our Monday motivation talks. It sometimes is a tongue twister, about the spirit, soul, and body, and how it takes all of that. And where I come in is I bring the scripture to it of the trauma that you have had maybe in your past. It could even be before you're born, or it could be something that's been taught through your family for generations that is affecting you now and affecting how your body moves, how you sleep, how you react, how, if you can or can't lose weight. Think about the people out there that they've done everything on the planet and they cannot lose weight. And so between the three of us, we have so many things. And we even have another one that we won't go into here, but if you want to reach out to any of the three of us, we will be more than glad to talk to you about some more things of product-based nutrition and such as that. That is amazing. Has it made a difference in both of your lives?
Yes.
Made a difference in mine. And we're talking products that are unheard of in any other product line. First to market with the formulations that they have. And so I can't tell you how truly amazing it is, but definitely reach out, put things in the comments, share this out, share with your friends. It is very important to get this out because we want you to be healthy. And so we're going to do a workshop with the three of us, and Donna's going to teach you how to do some things to get your body working. Have you noticed that sometimes this is kind of a girly thing, but it goes for guys too? You're standing in the room trying to put your britches on, and one leg goes on fine, the other leg you kind of struggle with. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that possibly you're shuffling when you walk? Has anybody said, pick up your feet and quit shuffling? Those type things are what Donna's going to bring to the table to repair. You want to say a little bit about that, Donna?
Yes. Working in the physiatrist's office, we worked with a lot of, at the time I was in Arizona, and we called them snowbirds. We would get a lot of patients coming down from Canada in the wintertime, escaping the cold and getting to the warmth, and they would take advantage of the healthcare in Arizona. And so many of them suffered from neck and back pain, and they would come to our office. And one of the first things that we would do with a lot of our back patients is get them working on their balance, because we would notice a lot of them shuffling their feet instead of picking them up to walk. And what we found is when you're not confident in your ability to balance, it's very difficult to walk, because you've got to have one foot off the floor, in order to move forward. And that's not comfortable for someone who doesn't feel that they can balance properly. So I'm going to be showing people some things they can do, because the good news on that is that balance can be improved. That's something that we can work on. We can retrain the body in some cases. I mean, of course, there's some cases where we can't, but we can help to retrain and get those neural pathways reformed and helping you with that. And, so some of the things that we'll do movement-wise, body-wise, it's not major exercise programs for you. It's small things that you can do in just the pockets of your time. A little balancing while you're out at the grocery store, waiting in line at the checkout, and other things. And we'll get into, to a few other things that people can be doing. But, I'm of Greek heritage. And so, the Greek philosophers, the mind, spirit, body connection was always big. And so healthy body is so important to having a healthy mind. And so that's the part that I'm going to bring. And we'll talk a little bit about nutrition probably as well, and what we can do there. But we'll get you doing things that'll help you get to the point that if you're sedentary now, maybe we can get you to the point where you're doing some exercise. Years ago at a seminar, a doctor got up to speak, and he said to his fellow physicians, he said, if a sedentary patient walks into your office with an ailment and your first prescription is not activity, you've done them a disservice. Okay.
That's true. That's true. And people don't think about that. They don't think about how important the movement of the body is. We become a multi-generation country / world of give me a pill, fix it up. I want instant gratification. I want to feel good instantly. And all that does is cover up the symptoms. And so many of them can be taken away with the stuff that we do.
Well, again, going back to my ancient Greeks, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food.
Amen. Amen.
And if we would hearken back and pay attention to the wisdom of the ages,
yes,
we would do much better.
Yeah. And it's so funny, because that's one of the things, like I'm a personality science trainer, plus a wellness brand partner, but the personality science, that's been around since Hippocrates. Hippocrates of the Hippocratic Oath, everybody pretty much knows the Hippocratic Oath, that he identified that there's 4 personalities. But that all ties in together with your physiology, because that's one of the things that he said. He treated each one of his patients differently based on, because he called them the 4 temperaments. Now we call them DISC, and there's personality things of the animals. What we heard one last week was the pigeons. Pigeons and peacocks, and it was really interesting, because I love hearing about different personalities. But it's how we assess them, and it was just hysterical. So that's kind of what. But that starting in your mind is that's knowing who you are. And
Yes.
that's where your personality comes in. So that's what I think this is just going to be an absolutely
I
fun
do.
workshop.
I'm so looking forward
Yes.
to it.
It
I
is going
really
to
am.
be a fun workshop. So, and we are going to tell you, it is going to be on March 30th from 2 to 3:30 Central. And so all of the three of us are going to come on and just give you some tips and strategies. We've got a couple of freebies that we're going to be
Oh, yeah.
sharing with people. And Carol has a book and just all
Yeah, my
stuff.
book is launching this week, so I'm excited about that.
That's terrific.
And we have called it Spring into Your Summer Sizzle.
Yes.
So
How
that's
many of y'all think you're ready for summer? Or even spring break? I mean, spring break's pretty close. You're ready
Right.
for the, I don't mean mentally. I'm talking about, is your body bikini ready? Of course, Donna's is,
Donna's is.
Donna actually won. I'm going to brag on you. She won the Best Body Monthly Challenge
Yes.
in December.
October.
Okay. And I know it was at the end of last year, but yeah, just with the stuff that we're teaching in this class. So it is cool.
Yeah.
You know?
It's gonna be
And
fun.
yeah, I think this will be a fun thing. And a favorite quote of mine is from George Bernard Shaw. And he said, we don't grow old. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. So this is going to be a fun workshop. We're going to keep it fun. There's going to be play. And, we just want everyone to be the best they can wherever they are,
Yes.
And one of the things that I do, because we do a lot of stuff on Zoom. And now I set a timer to make sure that I stand up.
Excellent.
Stand up, because sometimes it's like, oh, Barbara, for heaven's sakes, you've been sitting for 3 hours. And when I do stand up, because I'm obviously not in my 20s. And so when I stand up, it's like, oh yeah, I sat too long. But yeah, so yeah, stand up.
Well, we've become such a sedentary society with computers and whatnot. And so there's a reason why they've been saying lately that sitting is the new smoking, right?
Oh, right. That's a good way of putting it.
That's
That's
a good way of putting it. And how many people do you know walk hunched over because they spend their time in the lounge chair? They're the shape of the lounge chair. Think about that.
Or they stay hunched over a computer.
Right.
Well, and I come from the modeling industry, as most of our viewers know, and stop and look at the posture of the young people. Their shoulders are rolled over because they're always on their phone, and they never pull their shoulders back and do any kind of an exercise to stretch this part of their body.
Yeah.
And that is so important, because stop and look at the elegance that there was in some of the older, well, we'll say movie stars and dancers and stuff, like Fred Astaire and what was the girl?
Ginger Rogers?
Ginger Rogers, yes. I mean, their posture was great. And, all of the old style, and it's not that old is better than new, but the posture and the elegance is not there in the young people. And part of it is this.
Well, and what many people don't realize is that can lead to issues with the discs in the neck and with the nerves and that sort of thing. So we really want to work on, keeping the shoulders back and down and doing that. So we'll talk some about that in the workshop too, about proper posture and things you can do to, help with that. Because, when you see, how many of you are familiar with the term a dowager's hump?
Yes. They're like
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Well, it can be brought about from this rounded, kind of posture, and then that's what happens. So we want to really work on preventing that and getting ourselves.
Well, and look at the elderly people, and so many of them are humped over, and they have that big lump on the back of their head. And you don't see that in children. You don't see that in teens unless they've been on their phone too much. And doesn't it, Donna, you can tell us, doesn't it affect your breathing also when you're,
It does. It
if
does.
you're like
And
this?
the unfortunate thing is, we talked a little bit about walking difficulty. And so many people start using a cane, but so many of the canes are short. And so what does it encourage? And even a walker, most walkers, the person has to bend over. So now we're starting to see some that are more ergonomically correct, where the walker is up high and the person can stand tall while they walk. And even I've seen some canes come out recently where they're, they hold on to it and it's higher so they don't have to bend over. And that's so much better for the body because, again, it affects, your ability to breathe. It affects the discs in the spine and that sort of thing. And I don't want it. I've had bulging discs. I have the scar to prove it, but I don't want any more,
Okay, now a question that came to my mind, having that better, we talked about that it affects breathing. Can it also affect your digestion?
I would imagine.
Because you're humped over. We'll have to read that.
Yeah, we'll have to research that one. I hadn't thought of it.
Because, so many people now are having, gastrointestinal, and that you're hearing about gut health, and that the gut health in this country has gone down the tubes in a handbasket. And so I'm wondering if, because we are all body, mind, and spirit, everything impacts everything else in our bodies. Why it stands to reason that it would affect your digestion too, and your gut health.
Yeah.
Well, and your gut is your
barometer
immune system. It's also considered your second brain. And a lot of if you've got a foggy head, it's your gut that it can oftentimes be the problem. Now, that's not to take any thing from your brain, but it, it often is, related to the second brain.
Yes. There's so much research now. I mean, finally, research is catching up with what Hippocrates said 25 years ago.
Amen.
Yes.
America has the best emergency care. I mean, if you get hurt, you want to be here because they can put you back together very, very well. The downside is it's not a health industry. It's a sick industry.
It's a sick care.
They deal with sickness and such as that. So
illness and injury. Yeah.
You want to, and there's so many things that if you cover it up with a pill, you won't get better. And yet we're glad to have the pills for that initial pain or whatever. But then you need to do what Donna does, what she's going to teach you to get out of that as quickly as possible before it becomes chronic.
Yeah.
So awesome. Donna, we are so looking forward to this. This is going to be such fun.
It is.
Fun. And so if and really let's put it out to the audience. If you have anything that you would like us to talk about, like a little specific thing, hey, send us a note.
Yes.
Send us a note.
And we will have the sign up for this class up soon. It's not ready yet, but as far as all the graphics. So it will be up. We'll put it here. We'll put it in Mavens. The three of us will share it out. So be watching for that because it's going to be a fun class. I'm so looking forward to it. And it will be live. It will be a question answer to each of us. And also, be sure to like and share this video out so that more people can come and learn how to what is it you say, Barbara, about living your senior life better?
Oh, to be a senior, to be a strong, energetic, no nonsense, inspiring, outrageous rebel looking for your next adventure.
Choose me. This is our next adventure.
This is our next adventure. And for me, I'm now working with a designer to make a t-shirt and a mug. So, yep, it's going to be out there. And
Well, listen, thank you
just
so much for
attitude.
coming on, Donna. We appreciate it. I'll
Oh,
put some links down in the comments because, Facebook doesn't like links outwards and neither does YouTube. So we'll put this out there and we'll all share it. And we're excited to have you join us for this class. So
I'm
we'll
so
make
excited
it
that you asked me.
wonderful.
So.
Well, yeah, I'm so glad you said yes.
We're so glad because you were the first person we thought of.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well, thank you.
anyway.
And I just look forward to the opportunity to, to learn from the two of you and to share what I can. And yeah, let's help people get to their highest potential, right? Isn't that what we're about?
That's what
Amen.
we're all about.
Amen. In all three areas. So we will see y'all. Thank you for joining us for this Thoughtful Thursday. And we will be looking forward to all your comments. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.